Good morning, good morning. How are you? I think we are live. Let me just double check. And yes, it looks like we're live. Hello, guys. How are you? I hope you are having an absolutely beautiful day and doing really well this week. And I hope that you were able to take a look at the questions that I showed. And I'm going to go over the questions again with you so you can see what they are and what it is that I'm talking about so it makes sense. So go ahead, pull out a pen and paper. This is going to be an important piece that I want you to do before we move forward, because if you don't, it kind of messes it up. So it is a fun game, but this could actually tell you some things about yourself as well as others. So go ahead and pull out a piece of paper. Grab a pen. All right. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to think about question number 1. What is my favorite color? And jot it down. And I'm going to play the game with you guys as well. I already thought of the answers before, so I'm just going to jot mine down with you. So my favorite color is turquoise. Now you can't cheat, you can't look ahead, you can't look and see what the 3-question game is, so stop. Think of what is your favorite color and why. So if you were to say, like, so for me, turquoise, I could just say, oh, turquoise is such a beautiful color. But dig deeper. What's the deeper why? Like, why does it feel beautiful to you? So for me, when I think about turquoise, it just touches my heart. I feel like I'm looking into almost like the depth of nature and the depth of who God is. And not the turquoise that's like an Indian turquoise, but the turquoise that's like a blue, green kind of turquoise. Like there's so many variations of it. People like teal is close, right? And I love it because it's also the deep end of the ocean where the colors begin to shift and change. And you can't ever really get there because as you start to go out, it's the next deep end of the ocean. So I love it for that reason. So allow yourself to go kind of deep with it. So why do I like that? And why do I like the ocean? And what makes it? So for me, it takes me to this deep place and I feel it in my core. And so it's important that we just kind of get to know ourselves and why we like what we like, right? Okay, now again, there's another reason why we're answering this. So go ahead and answer it, and then I'll give you the great reveal after we go over all 3. So then the second one is, what is your favorite animal? And not like, oh, I like dogs because they're loyal, but I like dogs because they're kind. I like dogs because they're always loving. They're always forgiving, because they accept who you are. I like dogs because they like to play. I myself am a cat person, so mine was a tiger. I love dogs and I love wolves, and that might have been my second, I'm not sure. But my very first, the initial thought was tiger. And I like tiger, and I'll put it down here to remind myself, because they're very powerful. I like tigers because they're very stealthy, right? They know how to move through things. I like tigers because of their strength. I like tigers because, nobody's going to mess with them. I also like tigers because they're playful, like cats. They're big, giant cats, and so they know how to play. So make sure you're writing yours down. I like tigers, and I know this sounds silly, but I like their little nose and their tongue and their paws because they're vulnerable, right? Those are areas that they're vulnerable. So that it's a reminder to me that they are also vulnerable creatures, even though they're strong in their nails and, nobody's going to mess with them. So I like that they're vulnerable. Okay, cool. And so number 3 now, what is your favorite form of water? So for example, for me, my first thought was a snowflake. And I like it because it's so beautiful and so intricate. And you can just keep searching to the depths of it. And I like that it changes. I like that it can melt and reform. I like that it can melt on my tongue. I like that it's fragile, and yet in its form, it's strong. It's this beautiful, strong form. And so those are the reasons why I like it. So think about yours. Because the other thing, like for my second thought would totally be the ocean, right? Totally be the ocean. And my why for that, because when I look at it, I find peace, because it has life in it, because you can have fun with it, because I can float. What else? There's so many different reasons. So think for yourself, what would that be? What would your form of water? And, if you wanted to be funny, which, don't, you could be like, I like a wine glass of water. And I do. I wouldn't pick that one, but I love drinking out of a wine glass without it being wine. So please, in the comments, guys, share what your 1, your 2, your 3 is. Share your deep thoughts around it. Because why not? It's fun. Let yourself have fun with these games. And the other aspect of it is this is helping you to get to know you. So the big thing about me is I am all about you helping getting negative things, negative thoughts, negative emotions out of your way. And the more you get to know you, the more you're creating that first level of intimacy. Into me, I see. Into me, I care about. Into me, and you fill in the blank. I'm getting to know, I'm getting to appreciate, and I'm about to give you the big reveal, which actually creates a different level of intimacy. So please do jot down your comments. I'm looking for them. Let's see. So I saw one and I thought it was great. So let me get to that one for you guys. So Peter said purple. So purple rain, blue and yellow, colors that raise me up. I like it when my wife wears these colors too. Oh, yay, how lovely. So you notice when you let yourself go deep, you really feel it. You really can connect with it. It says black because I look good in it. Blue because it makes me happy. Seafoam green because I had the coolest dream about a marman whose tail was seafoam green and the color was super majestic and it stuck. I love it. How fun is that, right? So please do make sure you add your own. And I know there was another one, so I'm looking for that one. Okay, so here we go. So favorite animal. So what would your favorite animal be and why? What's your deepest reason why? So here we have a horse. Oh, wait, sorry. The screen just jumped. I got to find it again. Okay, here we go. So Janine said horses. They're majestic. They're empathetic. They're noble. Awesome. Kujina said dogs. They're loyal, compassionate, and protective. Yeah, that's so cool. And then Ed says domesticated animal, cat. Yep. Wild animal, humpback whale. Oh, how fun. Mythical animal. I don't know if I'm saying this right. A chimera. And so she says for a cat, it's because they're independent. She says for a humpback whale, it's an altruistic animal. Oh. And for the chimera, is an imaginary beast that spreads terror. She also looks scary cool and has capabilities of 3 other animals, which makes her kind of an evil transformer. How fun. So when you let yourself think about these things and get deeply into them, it's like, wow, okay, so this is what I like. This is interesting about me. Oh, this is so cool. And these are a reflection of you, right? And so if these things are a reflection of you, you're getting to know you more, connecting to that level of intimacy. Into me, I see. Into me, I care about. Into me, I appreciate. And so now, as you're thinking about these, we're going to go into the reveal. You ready? Okay. So the very first one, the color. Think about the color is like describing your personality. And so now look back. Now, before you read these, if you haven't written it down, I want you to stop. And I want you to write it down, because after you read these, it may change, it may shift how you answer the question. So I want you to answer the question before you look at the reveal, okay? Because then you'll go, huh. So if I think, and then you pick the color, if I think that turquoise is powerful and turquoise is beautiful and deep, and turquoise is where the waters meet, and you can't get quite there, but you can always desire to get there. Cool. I can see how that could match my personality. I could see how and this is true. I love to be deep. I love to really kind of go into things that have us touch those deeper thoughts and that deeper space and that deeper connection. Huh, yeah, that does match my personality. And then you might find some things of like, wow, I didn't really answer that. I didn't give it much thought. I sort of left it alone. So maybe you notice you do that with your personality, right? Like you don't let yourself go deep. You don't let yourself connect. Ricky Lynn says, salty ocean water. It makes me feel the fuzzies about growing up. So what if, oh, and this is so true about you, Ricky, your personality is all warm and fuzzy. And Ed says, river water from the highest part of the mountain, the cleanest and crispest for the water. Okay, so we'll talk about the water in a moment. Oh, we did, she just mentioned her. Well, we're going to talk about the water secondary. So actually, let's take a look at, Ricky, answer it for number one. What is your favorite color? Because I didn't see your answer on the post for favorite color. And so then let's see what your answer is for that. Without thinking about anything, just think about your favorite color and why it is. And then you can allow yourself to go, oh, so if this relates to my personality, how does that fit? And sometimes you'll learn something new about yourself. And sometimes, like with me, you'll be like, that makes total sense. I mean, I take everything deep. I can't keep anything on the light. I go deep into everything. And so that makes so much sense that when I see the turquoise, I take it deep. And so you'll see how it reflects you. Super cool. Okay, so we're going to jump back to the water one. Those are great answers, guys. I love those. And I love that you guys are always responding and connecting. I really just appreciate how you're always just looking and learning more about yourself and more about different ways that you can think and your perspective and playing these games with me. Okay, so now we've learned about color, right? We've learned how that looks at our personality. And now we're going to take a look at animal. What do you think it means? If you were to guess. I want to see if you guys guess right. No, it's slow. It doesn't give me your answers right away. So go ahead, write your answers, write what you think it is. And then I'll be able to take a look after the video. But what do you think? What do you think that the animal represents? The animal represents your view of your perfect mate. How cool is that, right? Okay, so now take a look at your answer of what you said about the animal and see how that fits. So let's take a look at Ed's again. Independent, altruistic, cool, scary, being able to transform, so being flexible. How cool, right? And then with Janine, majestic, empathetic, noble. How cool is that, right? Because you're like, yeah, I would love that in a mate. Yeah. But when we think about a mate or a partner, do we usually think about those terms or those words? No, not usually. We might, but not usually. We might think about more specific things, but this takes you to a different level. So I think it's just the coolest. So then taking a look at mine, when I was saying tiger, powerful, stealthy, strong, nobody messes with them, playful, vulnerable, having soft spots. Well, we know guys have soft spots. I tend to find them all the time. I'm a little bit clumsy, so I I find them all the time. Last night, twice, I went to give my husband a kiss and I scratched him or bumped him or banged him. Oh my gosh. So take a look at what your answer is for your favorite animal and notice, how does that connect? Does that sound right? Does that fit? And you might be like, wow, that's spot on. And you'll often notice that is the case. Now, I want to, before I jump into the third one, I want to share with you, you can look this up on Google. It's called relational psychology. And the idea is these can be very subconscious. So as you're relating to these particular answers, they are relating to something else. And so when you think about them, you can see how they can truly relate. Now, if you picked an animal you didn't like for instance, what's an animal I don't like? I kind of don't like snakes. Sometimes they scare me, but on the other hand, I really do think they're super cool and I do like to hold them. And if I see they're nice snakes, then I can get comfortable with it. What's an animal I don't like at all? Well, I don't know skunks, but I think I don't like them at all. The skunk that still has its sprayer. I don't like a skunk that still has its sprayer. Not because I don't, skunks might be great animals. I don't know. They seem like they'd be like a cat or something. But let's say for now, I know I don't like skunks. I don't like them because they stink. I don't like them because they're rude. I don't like them because they are so afraid they would attack me first. Huh, look at that. That's all I know about skunks. So it's also important to notice I don't know enough about them to have an opinion about them. So what if I had that? What if we looked at what's the kind of animal you don't like? And those would fit. Yeah, you know what? I don't want somebody who's going to be attacking. I don't want somebody who's going to be jealous and judgmental. I don't like somebody who's going to have a stinky personality and put their energy on me. Oh, look how that works. It's so cool when we let ourselves really get to know ourselves. And like I said, the more you get to know yourself, the more you can have fun and fall in love with this person that you are. The more the idea of negative thoughts about yourself, they just dissipate because you're having so much fun with this person and you're experiencing so much enjoyment. There is no judgment. There is no shame. There is no guilt. There is no any of that stuff. It just fades off. So those of you who are playing this game, know that you are getting more connected with you, and I'm so proud of you. You get to be proud of yourself as well. Mara says green is her color. Okay, so we're the color, jumping back to the color then, if that's about her personality, serenity, abundance, relaxing, that's so perfect. Yeah. So you guys keep answering. It's so fun. Keep playing the game. And Mara, oh, big hearts, honey. I know it's your first time here. That's so awesome. And thank you for commenting. So you can look back at the other questions too. So number 1 was the color. Number 2 is your favorite animal and why. And do your best to just think about, okay, so before I knew that answer, before I knew the reveal, what animal did I think was my favorite and why? And you could do that, right? You know what your favorite animal is and why without thinking, oh, well, how does this describe a relationship I'd want, kind of thing. So just separate it, answer it first, and then look at it. Go, oh, wow, look at how that relates. Okay, cool beans. So now the last one, drum roll. The water. What do you think the water represents? Allow yourself to think about it. If I like this form of water, what could that represent? And in this game, it represents your sexuality. What do you feel about that? What do you think about that? How do you relate to that? And so you might, let's say it's somebody who says their favorite form of water is mist, right? Or something that they can't touch. It's far away from them. Then that might describe that they have trouble with their sexuality, and not like deciding, who you are, what's going on, but it could just be, well, I know my sexuality, like I know I'm a woman, right? And I know I like a man, I know I love my husband, I know, but there's so much more to sexuality, like your feminine and your masculine energy, right? So what is that? Like, snowflake. So for me, it was a snowflake. So on one hand, we could be like, right? The concept of snowflake, you're like, woo, all over the place, airheaded. There is some of that, as you guys know. And then as you dig deeper, right? So the idea was take it deeper, not just keep it on surface. So on surface, I'm still learning how to be comfortable with my sexuality. Those of you who know and who've listened to my story, I've had a lot of trauma and a lot of things have come up in my life. So I am still growing and I am still learning and I am still shy about things, even with my husband. And we're working on those things. And that's the thing, you just keep working on it, you keep growing, and your form of water shifts and changes, which I was like, oh, I love that I picked snowflake, because snowflake can melt and become a new form. Snowflake is so delicate and beautiful, and it can melt on your tongue, and it's still so strong that it keeps this beautiful form. And it can actually be changed by, they've explained that if you're yelling at water, it creates certain molecules. If you're playing beautiful music, it creates certain, informing the molecules. If you're playing hard music, like rock and screaming music, how it's still beautiful, but the form it takes on, it's like, wow. So think about it for yourself. What did you pick? And so let's take a look at some of these answers you guys have shared and kind of relate back to it. Okay, so, there it is. Where did it go? Okay, so Ricky Lynn, salty ocean water. Sexuality, salty. Okay. Warm fuzzies. Okay. Memories of growing up. Where do we gain our sexuality from? As we're growing up. Diving into it is akin to visiting another planet. Ooh, so her sexuality, diving into it's like visiting another planet. How fun is that? I love swimming in warm ocean water. And so how about she can love just being in her sexuality? Like she's swimming in ocean water. How cool, right? It allows us, instead of being awkward and uncomfortable, or it's just like, wow, that's so cool to connect with that. Okay, so Ed, river water from the highest part of the mountain. It's the cleanest and crispest water you'll ever have. So a sexuality that is the highest part, right? The climactic part, the part that's pure and beautiful and clean and crisp and fresh and innocent. Like, how cool. I love it. Okay, let's see. Just want to double check and see if there's any more. Okay, so those are the last two that I've seen so far. I know they're going to pop in a little bit later too, so I'll definitely comment on those. So do still put your comments in, even if I'm not responding to them verbally now. I will be able to see them after the fact, so don't hesitate to do that. And then the other two that I wanted to connect back to on the color, let's see. So when Peter was saying the color of purple rain, blue and yellow, so think about that, like personality. Like, wow. Even I think of the song too, Purple Rain, and just, and the beauty of it. Feeling lifted up, loving that on his wife. How cool. So the personality, just so cool. And Ed was saying black because she looks good in it. So personality, I look good in my personality. Blue, it makes me happy. My personality is happy. Green because of the merman's tail. So mythical and creative. and playful and the majestic. How cool, right? Love it. I love you guys when you're playing these games and that we can share. So even though you've heard the reveal, I would love for you to still write down the answers to all of them and put down what you think, and then think about what the reveal is. And you can still share them in here. It's not too late, because I want to see, I want to experience you and allow you to also experience you. Because how fun is this? So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for looking at this with yourselves. Thanks for taking yourselves deeper and looking more at yourself, being able to practice this relational psychology game and see more of who you are and more of what it can mean out in your world. So have fun with it. Share it with others. You can ask people these questions. I actually learned this game from a woman named Teal Swan, and she said that she went on a date and she asked her date this question. And so number 2 obviously is the more one for the perfect mate. What's your favorite animal? And he said butterfly. Now you'd think, okay, now why? Now if he said, because they're majestic, they're beautiful, I love that they're free, I love that they can fly. But instead, his answers were things like, because they're quiet, because they are never annoying, they're only around when you want to be, feel that feeling, they're never there to annoy you. What was the other thing? I can't think of it. Maybe that was it. But when she heard that, she was like, oh. And in her mind, now, I don't think I would decide this right away. I would pay more closer attention as I'm getting to know them. But in her mind, she decided, nope, that's not what I'm looking for. And she decided that that was the last date. So this can actually be used to understand a person quickly if that's something that you want to decide, because you can see where they're coming from, you can see what they're looking for, you can see some of their personality. Now, I like to get more into things with people and get to know more about who they are. And I know one thing, I might not express myself fully in one answer because I might not be thinking of the right words, or I might be nervous or whatever. So I myself probably wouldn't do that. But if I trusted something so much that I'm like, okay, based on how they answer is going to decide for me, then that'd be cool, right? Who wants to waste time, especially if you're trying to get to know somebody that you want to be around and maybe make your life partner. So it's just interesting and cool. And I wanted to share her story with you because you can actually use it to that deep extent because you're learning what's going on in somebody's subconscious mind. How cool, right? So anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Now, I know this is just a game, but the concept of it is real, straight out. And it allows you to play with knowing more about yourself and playing with knowing more about others. So allow yourself to realize, yes, this is just a game, and it is very powerful. So let yourself have fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about really setting boundaries in a relationship. Whether you're using this, this relational psychology to do it, or you're using the boundaries that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And we have a really good example from Julie, who wants to share, what's showing up for her and questions about how she can implement this with someone. So we're definitely going to do that. But here's the thing. It's only going to be in the Freedom from Negative Thinking group. Hey guys, in the group. Because it's a more private space, it's a more personal space, and it allows you to be able to share what you need to, and it'll just be there. So please do bring yourselves on over to the Freedom from Negative Thinking group, and I will see you tomorrow at 9:15 Eastern time. Ciao for now, guys. And what do we do? Bring it in. All the way, all the way, all the way. Big squishy hugs. Yeah. Breathe that in. And if you feel uncomfortable giving yourself a hug, then imagine the hug is from me. Yeah. Good job. All right, guys, you take care of you. Still answer these questions as you're popping on. I want to see. That's exciting. It's fun. So you take care of you, and ciao for now. See you tomorrow, 9:15, Freedom from Negative Thinking group.